launching a little side hustle, as is the case with most New Yorkers. There's always got to be one. Uh, I'm calling tonight side effects, OPB, other people's business. Now, me, Olivier, and the 3.5 people watching, one of whom might be our age, will understand the reference of OPP, other people's property, which is quite sexist in retrospect. Because it's about other people's, like someone else's girl,
Yeah.
you know. It's not supposed, no one's your property. We were just talking about that last time. But anyway, on that note, let's get right into it. Really, I want to talk about two things. I don't even give a flying fuck about other people, who everyone else is fucking, who's cheating on who. I do not care. I
Mm-hmm.
never care. I don't like, it's one of those things that, like, if I know about it, it's like, this is knowledge I don't want to have. Why do I know this? I don't want to know the inner workings of someone else's relationship. It actually pisses me off that I know about it. But in this case, the only reason I'm putting it on this launch of side effects is because of just the avalanche of shit in my DMs, in my feed, and yours, and everywhere else. That shit that is inescapable. And because so much of it has a misogynistic type tinge, and I didn't even get to all the things I want to get, because apparently, like, some really high figures in the pages I follow were feuding over this too. And it was a long-standing feud. We both know Professor Odie,
Mm-hmm.
and we know Consciously. Both of them apparently were going at it about something. And those are two guys I like. So I didn't about this. So I didn't even bother because that thing was like that was like a CVS receipt of receipts. So I
Oh
wasn't ready
God.
for that. And I already know too much. But I'll say this. What I want to talk about today in reference to a lot of the conversations we've had is just simply put the misogyny aspect of it that has created, not who's cheating on who. I'm sure you've seen that meme that I don't that is just awful that shows like all these men lining up to Meg the Stallion.
Oh God.
You didn't see it.
No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay, good, because no one should see it. Okay, it just shows her exes. I'm not even going to describe what's going on because it's so offensive. But essentially, it's going back to this notion of bodies and who and that women can't have bodies and they're slut shamed, and somehow that matters in being cheated on. Look, I don't know if she also cheated. All I know is this motherfucker got caught. All right, and if they want to break up, they break up. What I don't get is how any man in his right mind is going to somehow say, well, because of her lyrics, because of this, how she dresses, because of the other men she dated, that this is like deserved or something. That's my problem.
Yeah, I think that honestly, I think that's stupid. If you're just like, oh, someone's passed, and that's the reason why I have to break up with this person. That's the reason why they cheated. That makes no damn sense. First of all, I think that is honestly stupid. Because if that's the case, if that's truly the case, then I would argue and say most relationships would probably end if we're basing off of solely off of one celebrity's past. Because a lot of you guys are dating certain people who have more bodies or even a quote unquote worse past than Megan Thee Stallion.
We're going to
But
talk
you,
about one of those people next.
oh, I mean, I don't know who you're talking about, but hey, I'm fine with that. I don't
Yeah,
mind
yeah.
whatsoever. Where like
Now,
you're out there
now,
pointing fingers, being like, ah, look at this girl. Nah, man, look at your own closet.
but you said it. This girl, this woman. That's the point. The point is that men, and we're gonna get into this motherfucker bragging about how many women he's fucked, but men brag about it. Women are shamed for it. It's just it's like the juxtaposition between the thing with Ray J on Cam Newton podcast.
Oh,
No,
oh, oh,
that's
oh.
wrong. That's these are the two examples because they're perfectly aligned with the problem we have here. We have on one side Cam Newton saying, not sorry, no, he's on Cam Newton's show,
Mm-hmm.
Also, Cam Newton looks really. He's got to be the next Batman villain because the way the man is dressed, he is ready to fight Batman. Okay, gotta be. Just he's ready, and he's brolic, so he's ready to go. So I forgot who's doing the new Batman, but that would if Cam Newton just runs up and tries to avoid a blitz in the next one, I just think that would be great. But he's interviewing Ray J. Ray J. We already know a history of a tape that was I don't know who leaked the tape with him and Kim Kardashian, but I don't think we ever really addressed that. Yeah, no one should be leaking sex tapes. Like we accepted it, and don't get me wrong, all of us as youngins who heard, oh, this celebrity's naked, that celebrity's naked, but then we grow up.
Yeah, it's just weird.
And we realize, hey, that was supposed to be for them. Now, if someone did it voluntarily, that's fine. That's their prerogative. But we already know he's involved in that, and even had a song to talk about specifically her called "I Hit It First."
Oh yeah, that was a diss track to Kanye West.
For Kanye. So
Yep.
again, the age old thing in music and hip hop is leveraging women's bodies like a ping pong. Of like, I did this to her, or I did that to her, and it's like this is part of your career. Like a woman's body is an element on your career. It's just commodifying her. But point being, this is the motherfucker who then, with this history, said he slept with. Now I think it was Gene Simmons that said 1,000, but Ray J said, "Hold my beer and multiply it by 12." Because we're going 12,000.
12,000. Plausible?
And on stage was doing the math, and it was like 500 people a year, and it's like there's too much sex and.
That's almost two people per day. All right.
I mean, that's to do that and not have a kid and not have a STD.
My dad would say something like this: "Somebody's lying."
Yes.
Somebody's lying. It's either the number is lying, or the event is lying. Somebody's lying. Somebody's lying because it's not making any mathematical sense.
I know why he still has a dick.
Because it's Ray J. He had the Ray J bands. That's what he used for protection. That's how it worked.
How does he have time? Like the amount of effort it would take to do that and have a career. It's like, when does he sit down and sleep? And I just don't see other activities working here. That's just so many things. And then he said he had a party with like 500. I don't know. It was like, yo, it's so ridiculous. It's funny because it's like he said, all right, you were like the greatest hits. You group. He didn't say it. He said it like he's basically saying that I'm phrasing it like that because he's picking, like he said, 500 and inviting them to a party of these women.
I mean, me personally, I listen. I'm not gonna lie. I don't understand the men who have this type of energy. I don't, and I'm talking about the one for Ray J or in this case like Klay Thompson, right? I don't have the energy to try to entertain that number of women. I have one wife. I'm tired. With just one. Just one. I'm tired with just one woman. Love her. But I'm tired. These guys being like, nah, I gotta have 14, 15, 12,000. Why?
12,000 is a town. This is, if Ray J really had, I mean, Gene Simmons having 1,000, that's even true. That's a small town.
That is a small town.
I don't understand. I mean, I get I get that you are famous and you have a choice to do what you want with your fame. I'm
Yeah.
not here to say don't have sex with there, but there is a problem with multiple things here. One is that the way he talked about it, it wasn't like he said it like he's bragging and talking literally just about statistics. Like like
Like like
Cam
he's
Newton was talking about statistics, like football statistics.
yeah, I was about to
Yeah,
say.
like how many bodies someone would tackle, or but we're talking about a completely different kind right now, and he's saying it like it's just something he's accumulated over time. Like, I'm not saying you can't have casual sex, but when you talk about women this way, you're just making women a point of numbers in your life. And to me, that does dehumanize them. And it gives young men just a ridiculous idea of what sex is. And it promotes just the audacity and the brazen nature, just promotes it juxtaposed to someone like Meg Thee Stallion, who is being shamed for her past partners. And she's not the first. Many people have. People, when you know of a woman's sexual history and it's more than like her husband,
Ooh.
there's always this slut shaming happening. Women can't have casual sex in the public knowledge. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to know anybody's fucking habits. Literally, fucking habits. I don't want to know any of them.
Yeah.
But but listen, we at least need consistency here, and juxtapose that stupid meme and all the talk around it to this motherfucker saying he's fucked a small village. I just don't get. I just don't see why even men at this magnitude, just this clear difference, can't see. Oh yeah, that is a little interesting. It's kind of treated differently, isn't? One guy's bragging about it on a podcast.
Because some men like to think, I don't know why, but some men like to think like, well, listen, if my I'm gonna be just as vulgar as I can. I'm sorry, right?
Yeah.
If my dick can open up so many doors, then
Oh
therefore
right.
it's a good dick, right? And it's just like, and then I heard like some counter argument being like, well, if a pencil sharpener sharpens all the pencils, it's a good pencil sharpener. I don't know. I don't care. Me personally, this is just me personally. In terms of the number of people that Ray J has slept with, to me, honestly, you're sad. I say that because you don't even know who's who did what. You have to keep doing. Like, what was that measurement? I said some sort of measurement before. It's like if you try to measure yourself by measurables, you're gonna be miserable. Oh, but the number of money I have, the number of girls I slept with, the number of cars I have, you're gonna be miserable for anyone involved.
But to me, it's also like if you've made it, well, who are you talking to? Like, no one is. I just don't get exactly who Ray J or who any man who gets of a certain status has money, has fame, doing what they want to do. What are you trying to gain at this point? Respect from other men?
I
I
think
don't get it.
I think it could be respect from other men, or it could be that small little boy who got rejected so many times, and they're
Right.
trying to fill that void of being like, no, look, man, see, we're good now, right? We're good, we're happy. Yeah, I don't know about that. Oh shoot, what's his name? There's another football player. He always says Lakers in five. What's his name? Ah, he got caught with a young woman and he got
Or
let go for
Shannon
like,
Sharp?
yeah, Shannon Sharp, right? I don't know
Yeah,
how
yeah,
many
the
Shannon
only
Sharp has had. Right, I don't know how many he's had, but he's also admitted he's like, I got nobody and I'm miserable. You
well,
know, he's
I'm glad he admitted. I mean, I'm not glad, but like
yeah,
that's honestly more honest than a lot of men are.
right? So like you could be your age 8, you're 45, 46. Yeah, I've had X number of people. All right, I guess, but like not for nothing. You're gonna get older, and you're gonna be sad and alone. Who's gonna be with you, right?
Well, I think some men just never really accept it. I think, look, Al Pacino is one of my favorite actors. He had sex with a 29 or 30-year-old and when in his mid 80s and they have a kid together.
Oh
I
yeah, that's
don't
true.
understand that energy either.
I think Al Pacino might be like an outlier or an exception.
It,
Like like the,
I don't
I
get
don't
what
know.
you mean. But no, well, he's not the only guy.
No, he's not the only guy, but on a population level, like I think majority of men by like what 75, 80, they're like, all right, I'm done. Ah, I don't know. I don't know.
I
I'm not
don't know.
there yet.
I think especially celebrities that are able to at least take care of themselves enough to have, you know, vitality. Um, I'll say as men at that age, I think they probably want to go as long as they can, and it would be nice to have a partner at that point. But if you don't, look again, I'm not shaming, I'm not yucking anyone's yum in casual sex, but the point is, after a certain point, you do ask yourself, like, what exactly is going on here? Is this really is this really just something you like and enjoy and want to get the most out of life, or is this something you're trying to prove? And I'm not saying there's a perfect number. I'm sure we can dive into what is like probably healthier, but 12,000 is insane for a man in his 40s.
For
Now
any
I'm not.
person, 12,000 the same for any person.
Yeah, right. Even if you
Yeah,
even if you work Al Pacino's age, that'd be crazy.
that's wild.
Yeah, like this is why I just want to even bring it back to when men brag about, yo, I didn't even know her name. I'm like, that's not good. And also, men, if you can't have it both ways. You can't say like, well, they're gonna me too anyone now. You got to be careful out there, and then also say, yeah, I fucked her and I don't even know her name. It's like, well, guess what? Guess who probably knows your name? Don't I like? I think you should care about every sexual partner as a human being for the sake of them being a human being. But I
Agreed.
also think always keep receipts. And if you're really worried about that, always keep receipts. And always know what happened that night or day. And so don't be blackout drunk,
Yep.
right? Don't this is the problem when you are out here fucking on drugs and drinking like there's no tomorrow. Like, you need to, when you're gonna be in any sort of sexual encounter with someone, you need to be in your right mind, they need to be in their right mind. That's for the both of you. But anyway, we talked about consent a lot last time. Let's get to get back to here. So one guy's got 12,000. I don't even know, like what do people want exactly from this is all the only thing I care about. What do they want from Meg Thee Stallion? That's what I don't understand.
I think. I mean, listen. I'm again. My examples here, anecdotal from the women in my life, right, who care. What I see or understand is that they're upset because Meg Thee Stallion in their eyes is like more beautiful, right? Looks more attractive than they are in air quotes, right? So in their eyes, like, oh, if I'm more attractive, therefore I wouldn't be cheated on. But if Megan got cheated on, therefore I could get cheated on, right? That's one thing I've seen. I, that's one thing that I've
All
seen
right,
about it.
all right.
Another thing that I've heard was just like there's like how could you treat Megan Thee Stallion so badly because she had so many bad things happen to her. She had family members who passed away. She was shot at. I think one family member might have died from a car accident, something like that. And like you cheated on her, like she had all these traumatic things, and you did this thing to her. And I was just like, I understand that's a horrible, horrible thing, but we're not that guy. We're not that person. I think a lot of people look at Meg Thee Stallion or her partner and be like, if I was in their shoes, I wouldn't do that thing. I wouldn't be there. But we're not them, and we're not there. And man, this is stupid. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not like let's go and going back a little bit of the part of where you said of like how like one man would be like, bodies count or whatever. I just for the guys who be like, oh, her body count is important, whatever it is. I think it's such a stupid thing for you to be like, essentially, from what I'm hearing or seeing, is like you want an experienced virgin. That's an oxymoron. That's stupid.
You want
It's
a freaky virgin.
you want a freaking what are you talking about? You want some
Like,
sort of unicorn. They don't exist. They don't exist. It's just stupid.
I don't get it. It's not fair to women to they get shamed almost either way, and then like and to be clear, I'm not saying that you can't be a virgin
Yeah,
and
nah.
still enjoy whatever, watching porn, or
Yeah,
I don't know,
absolutely.
maybe you were with other women before. I don't fucking know. But or have urges, still be aroused, all that shit.
Yep.
But men still are expecting just to expect a woman. If a woman's religious and that's part of her religion and being devout,
Mm-hmm.
obviously that's one thing. But if you just expect a woman to save herself until what? She runs into you, who she never knew existed. I just don't get, like, are you even marrying this person? Like, I just don't get what is the process here to run into this person. It's kind of like the reverse shit of like what I told you I heard with the lady who said that she doesn't need experience, but I do. When the lady's mom told me that, it's like, well, I only get experience from, I'm not gay, so I'm only getting experience from someone else's daughter.
Yeah. And these same guys who go through a bunch of women and be like, I wouldn't date those girls. What?
It's
No.
basically like HS. Remember when we watched
Oh
Never
my
Inside the Manosphere,
god.
and he said, I
Yes.
will profit off OnlyFans models, I'll fuck them, and I also have no respect for them.
It. I've come to terms with the fact that I was talking to a friend the other day, and the way he explained to me, he's like, "Hey, Olivier, listen, you have to understand the fact that there are people who don't understand things the same way you do. That's A. B. Unfortunately, those people are stupider than you. C. Those people are stupider than you. And D. Those people think they're smarter than you, or they're stupider than you are. So I don't understand it because I'm just like, because it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. I I
But
Go
we've
ahead.
kind of become desensitized to all these things that don't make sense, to the point that when we are trying to do more things that do make sense, we look weird. And that's the part that sucks.
Okay. I feel like conspiracy theorists all the time because like
Yeah.
I try to teach my young boys like, hey, that's a double standard, this, that, and the third, and there's something wild or someone else says something stupid. I'm like, no, what you said is dumb. They're like, no, it's smart because HS said it or this guy said it or she said it. I'm like, no, think about it. Think about it. Let's use some brain cells, people. Use four of them. Use four of your brain cells and put it together. Does it make sense? I try to use a sports analogy with my basketball players. I was like, hey, you would want a rookie, right? You want a rookie to be as good as Michael Jordan without playing any basketball games. They're like, that doesn't make sense. Exactly. You're gonna have to play. You're gonna have to get a little bit of experience. You have to. You can't be you become rookie of the year and MVP and no, no. You need some experience. Um,
But this ultimately comes down to the way Ray J sees sex, and other men. cannot have sex with 12,000 women and still commodify it and differentize it.
God.
And the way we talk about sex in like this holistic, beautiful intimacy way where you care
Yes.
about both partners and their pleasure and their consent. Like these are,
Yes.
it's not even extremes. That's the latter. That is what sex is. You have bad sex, which is someone you go into it consensually, but someone doesn't care about the other person's needs. That's bad sex. Rape is
Yep.
not sex. Assault is
No.
not sex. They're
Nope.
violent. These are all
Yes.
violent.
Yes.
So, and I think even that is something men don't understand. It's like, and then you have something in between that is not rape, but it is coercion, and
Mhm.
coercion is basically going against the grain of someone's desires until they get exhausted, which is not the way you want to either, and is still harming the person in some way that they kind of felt they had to do that to get out of the situation.
But
But
then
when
also,
you
why do
make,
you want that?
because they want the number. Because they want the numbers. This thing what Ray J said is like I'm not glad that he said it, but in some ways I am to the point. It's kind of like when when Trump got elected, we kind of had to start talking about things when people got into politics and like
Yes.
actually said, "Oh shit, wow, all of this is fucked up."
Yep.
I mean, I still wish he wasn't president, but
Yeah.
the only I would say the silver lining here is that Ray J is just an extreme of this. There are other men who don't have his money that are bragging about having, I don't know, 78 bodies. And they can work at Dwayne Reed. I don't fucking know. But
I mean,
and be 30.
I mean that's actually more plausible.
I had a friend once who I'm not gonna say his name, but I had a friend once and he talked about it in a different way. Like he said, this was crazy of me, like this was not healthy behavior. And he said and there was a month where I had sex with a different woman every day. And
was
or
was
like
it
for most of them.
okay? Was there a goal in it, at anything? It
No,
was
that's the
just
thing. He admitted it. He said, I was going through something as a man and like trying to take something from sex, which both men and women can do many times for different reasons.
okay.
Men are kind of many times. Bell Hooks actually has a quote about this. Like, what it's like men use love to get some men use love to get sex and some women use sex to get love. I think that's what it was.
Ooh.
And I wouldn't say use for everyone, but I would more say kind of want to mix those outcomes. So
Yeah.
sometimes I think there are women who think the only way that I can get a form of intimacy and genuine intimacy with this man is through only the physical. And there are some men who say the only way I can have physical intimacy with this woman
It is.
for me
It's
to
true.
like love bomb her and
Yeah.
pretend I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
her. So you want both people to be on the same page. And I think what my friend was talking about, he didn't say it like that, but he was basically saying I was trying to get something from that. And that, made me feel like a man, made me feel like, or that I was as an outlet, essentially, like an
Yeah.
outlet to maybe other things that aren't going right in your life.
Yeah, I mean that's part of. I also, to me, it also still feels like as if he's trying to fill some sort of void,
Right.
right? Just like that's what I said before with Ray J. I was just like, to have that many number, or even Gene Simmons to have that number. I'm just like, to me, I'm like, you're trying to fill some sort of void, and you can't fill a void. It's just, it's unfillable. Is that a word? I feel like it's not.
Uh, I mean, you can't fill a void that way.
You
I
can't.
think
No.
I think you can fill. I think you can do healthy things in life that do fill voids, at least as much as one can fill them. But to me, men having a lot of sex is a quick fix to some, and it's not a fix, but it's like
It's
for a second,
it's a band-aid, maybe.
it may be a band
Maybe.
aid, but it's like a band aid doesn't have much danger to it. Having sex with 12,000 women has a whole bunch of it. It's shit. Having sex with hundreds, if we're talking in the fucking magnitude of hundreds, like so many things. You want to make sure you better be like on top of making sure everyone's consenting to something. You better
Hmm.
be on top of protecting yourself and if you don't want kids, making sure you don't get kids, like, and also like having the rest of your life, because if it's addictions interfere with the rest of your life. So
Yep.
that's why I'm saying if Ray J really has sex with 12,000 people, the part that's not funny is that is an addiction, because there's no way that that did not interfere with other aspects of his life. I just don't know how that's fucking scheduled.
Just
So
because watch, it's 12 o'clock. You can let Sarah
yeah,
in. I don't know.
like there's just no way. If you're like their athletes are known to be many times get around. Even an athlete that you would never hear an athlete say 12,000, maybe in the hundreds, because how are you going to do that and play and go to practice and go to the post game? It's just not going to happen. It's just like so regardless if he's the expression lying is lying on your dick, regardless if he's lying on his dick, he could be, he could not. It could be true. Same thing with Gene Simmons and anyone else that likes to profess these things. But the juxtaposition between him and Meg Thee Stallion just shows how far we have to go in just allowing people to not have their sex life measure them as a person. So for women, a knowledge of someone's casual dating as a woman to devalue her, and for men to increase his value. Now, I think most men who say they sleep or who like say, "Oh, I got with this person, I got with that person," like the stupid, still to this day, one of the most sexist things I've seen on TV, but it's so bad it's funny. The Derek Jeter diamond and the outfield that ESPN actually put up of his girlfriends in different positions. I mean, to
Yes.
this day, that's in the Hall of Fame. That's in the Hall of Fame of just blatant. Like, I want to see the boardroom with one woman in it, maybe, and or not the board, but the pre-show meeting. It's like, so guys, isn't this a great idea? We thought we would take each one of his girls and past girls and put them on the diamond and give them roles. And then we got the designated DH, designated hottie, and then we got the catcher, and we got infield, outfield. What do you think about that, Deborah? Um, is it okay if I? Okay, great. Let's run this tonight.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Terrible.
I mean, shoot. I think like when I was in high school, I would have thought that was hilarious and funny. Like it's funny now. I was like, haha, that's stupid.
Funny to laugh
Um,
at it.
it's funny to laugh at it, but when you're laughing with it, I'm like, man, I don't think you get the joke. So I think it's funny to laugh at it, and I do think that unfortunately, I don't think this is going to go away for a very long time. Um, because what? How old's Ray J? 45, right? Ray J's 45.
He's probably in his 40s, definitely.
Yeah, I think he's 45. He's in his 40s, right? So that means theoretically speaking, Ray J's going to keep talking this way for the next 40 years, theoretically speaking, right? So some young boy, some young man's going to hear it and be like, "Oh, I got to get X amount of numbers or X amount of things." It's not just him. It's just a lot of guys in the manosphere speak in that
Yeah.
manner. Be like, you got to get all these girls. And to me, I'm like, you do realize the fact that like the way you're speaking is like an oxymoron to yourself, right? You want to date someone or marry someone who doesn't have a quote unquote high body count or is essentially a virgin, but you as a man have to go around and sleep with every girl that you see. Like it can't be both. It just can't be both.
Or someone who, like Shannon Sharp was doing, is like showing that he still got it. Because there's only one reason why a man of Shannon Sharp's age is messing with an OnlyFans model who's 20 years old. I mean, you're trying to like. There's something about that, and it wasn't like just a one-off thing. Like they were actually seeing each other.
Hmm.
So, if that's the case, I mean, you're kind of that there's something there. Unless I'm sorry, unless there is a phenomenal, deep, multi-layered connection that I am not aware of. Okay, what I think many times happens also is that when men get to a certain status and feel that they can have sex easily, now it's about these little challenges. Now it's like, oh, I bet I can get an OnlyFans model.
Yeah,
Now can I get an OnlyFans model
it's a
for 20
game.
when I'm, what is he, like in his 50s? When I'm in
I
my
think it's
50s.
50s. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's in great shape, but
Oh,
he's
he
admitting he's not in
absolutely.
great shape mentally. And that's the thing, man. Like you can't neglect this muscle either. We kind of act like we can just neglect it and just work on the body. These things are connected. If they're connected as an athlete, they're going to be connected in other ways.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
And we
I'm
know
pretty sure.
they're connected as an athlete. Any of the major sports, they'll tell you.
I mean, I'm sure you know this. Like the biggest organ in sex is your mind. Like that's the
Yeah,
biggest one. But
and it
a lot of guys don't know that. But hey, you know,
yeah, you can the way that you to give very basic advice, because I don't believe in advice that's like I tell you this, you can seduce any woman.
uh,
I like shouldn't this? It sounds like a bad character from an '80s movie when I hear that shit. How is that even still around? But no, you cannot seduce every woman. No one can, and nor should you. You should not have like a fucking be the Avengers of fucking like just be able to like cast the spell and then you know I do the spell all the bitches and then everyone's here. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, or Pokemon, like we talked about, like Pokemon,
Pokemon gotta catch them all.
thinking that they got get. Yeah, but what I will say is that one of the best things you can do is make a woman feel great, not just physically in the bedroom, but make a woman feel safe. Make do your best to see if she's having a good time. If a woman, the problem with this, the core of the problem with this mentality that Ray J is professing is that it just begs for men to just care solely about the end and not care about the means. So just the end of sex, getting sex, doesn't matter how I get it. Still hit though. Because it's just numbers at that point. Or you're just trying to build a fucking diamond to share with your fucking friends. Here's my diamond.
Stupid.
Here's my starting five.
It's funny you say 35 because I personally have had five partners.
Okay.
I'm just I don't mind. I don't mind to be like, yeah,
Well,
I've only had
I went through something. I'm not gonna like say the exact yet, but I went through feeling embarrassed as a man for not having enough experience to wondering if it sounds like too much to other women. And I don't. And sometimes I actually say less experience because I don't want because unlike some other men, there are some, and I'm not saying it's fair of women to judge men either. It's not. But there are some women who are like, well, if you've been, are you really ready to settle down been if you've been with that many women? So I don't think either is fair. I don't think we should judge men for having to. Let's go to the other extreme. Also, like you shouldn't judge men for having little experience. Like I grew up with. I just told you I was 15 the first time someone shamed me for not having a body.
mm,
Uh, and ever since then, it was like I knew that this is something I'm evaluated on. Now, thankfully, I never really bought into women are not statistics. I always looked at women as a whole, equal, self-actualized human being. But you know, I it did. It was very clear to me at a young age, even before the woman said that, because I went to Bronx public school. Boys were talking about sex when they were fucking. I remember this very odd moment. We must have been in middle school, and they were making fun of another girl because she didn't understand what head meant. And it's like, but if she did know, kind of to your earlier point, then you also make fun of her and shame her. And also, whether she knows or not, she should not have this. It's too young. Okay. I will say I do think there's such a thing as like my friend Joshua said, who has a men's group, and he said it's like actually a verse in the Bible, and it's kind of like you have the information before you're ready to have the information. There's like
Mm,
a line like that in the Bible that's very applicable to real life. Not saying, look, I definitely don't believe in waiting till marriage, but my point is that you can have sex before you're ready to have sex, just
yep.
because just because it's there, just because the information. Same thing with seeing pornography too early,
Yeah.
which many boys and now probably girls probably do. Um, but I know we're keeping this one shorter. But what do you like? What do you think? What messages would you want to give to young? Let's start with girls who see the way Meg The Stallion is being treated. Um, who sure I will have access to social media, guys. The way you talk gets. I always say the way you talk about whatever hatred towards men gets to boys,
Hmm.
misogyny towards women gets to girls. It
Yeah.
doesn't. It gets to them. So if you wouldn't want them hearing these messages, we should think about what we're saying. But what would you say to someone who sees that and is like, well, I hope I don't get whatever slut shamed, or do I have to save myself, or whatever?
Shoot. I mean, listen, I don't think there's a clear cut answer. That's a really tough question or thing to say. I think what I want to say to the young girls who look at Megan Thee Stallion and they're like, well, oh, because she's so pretty, it could happen to me, right? I do want to say the fact like, no, it may not, right? It may not. And at the same time, I don't want a lot of you to be like, it definitely won't. We you can't. What I think what I'm trying to say is you can't control what your partner does. Unfortunately, you can't control that, right? What you can control is who you pick, who you hang out with, and do your best to put up as many good filters, right? To try to pick a good partner. And if you did the best that you could, put up all the good filters you could, right? Will there be a couple bad ones? Yeah, unfortunately, it happens, right? No system is perfect, and don't beat yourself up about it, right? It is not your fault that that person chose to leave or step out of your relationship. That is not your fault. That'd be my advice.
And the amount of partners you have
Oh yeah.
doesn't signal your value. I will say the quality of whomever we decide to give that intimate side of us, especially as we get older. When we're 16, 17, I think, obviously, if I had a kid, I would try to advise them the best I can, but I understand with hormones and societal pressures, there's a lot going on in high school. But especially once you're college and beyond, like, I do think you should pay attention to who you give an intimate physical side of yourself with. I think judging for the quantity should never happen.
Nah.
Looking at someone and who they sleep with for the quality of person, I think sometimes is true. Like if I know, I did I tell you the story with like the before I was gonna go on a date, this lady was like um uh just being very racist, just openly, and I was just taken aback, and I was like, I can't go on. But I didn't do it. But if I did, and I like slept with the person, I think that would say something about me, honestly, because that's like, even though it was my early 20s, I'm not even gonna repeat what she said, but this is like, she wasn't white, but she was talking like a white Southerner, and
Oh
she's from
God.
Long Island, so I guess you could say the parallels there. Sorry, Olivia, with the white.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I live
When
here.
Long Island sends its white, it does not send its best.
Yep.
But anyway, that's what I always say when they go to Yankee Stadium. But anyway, point being that quality's different story. But I'm not talking about. But that's something else. That's a different aspect of character. I'm talking about we should not be slut shaming women for having casual sex or having a certain amount of men in that they had sex with. If we really want women, men need to also think about the energy they put out if they want better energy back.
Mm,
So if you want women to think of you in a better way and like want to have better relationships with women, okay, you have to also change the energy you're putting out. If your mo is outwardly slut shaming women, okay, unless it's the magical unicorn virgin from the sky that's gonna come and drop on your doorstep in Suffolk County, I
Doesn't
just don't.
exist.
I just don't think you understand that you should treat women like humans. So if you understand why you had casual sex, if you understand that that doesn't define you just for having sex with, however many women, if you expect this other person to treat you like a human, you got to treat them like one and say, okay, the same way I felt this, she can feel this. Now, uh, to the young men, I don't think that following any sort of slut shaming it is ever going to get you better success with women. And to the young women, don't, first of all, don't, I would say, don't give any sort of effort. A lot of men show their colors and character, unfortunately, when things like this come out. Just like with the thing we talked about last time, the chat with all those men.
Oh God.
I would say, look at what your husband says. Look at what your boyfriend says, because that shows character. And to the young girls, the listen, you want to, if you're worried about who may cheat on you, look at the character of the men right now and how they respond to this. A lot of the men blaming Meg the Stallion are definitely, probably, at least tolerant of cheating and making it somehow someone else's fault just for having, multiple sexual partners. And if any motherfucker defends Tory Lane still, I don't know what more evidence you need. That one I never understood. Does she just get shot in the foot from the sky? Like, you don't just get shot in the foot.
Unless you're Megan Thee Stallion, clearly. I mean, what don't you understand?
I don't, like, what could she have, and then they're like, well, what could she have said maybe that, they said the same thing about Chris Brown and Rihanna. It's like these guys, like, there's nothing that justifies beating. There's no self-defense there. There's no justification. You're just showing yourself, you know. You're just showing your true colors and how you think of women, and women are listening. So I think that's my final advice to them. So this was a side effect. I guess the side effect is just more misogyny, and go figure.
No surprise. There's no surprise there.
And yeah, see you for a full length one another time. And yep, these guys.